I think that people have to understand there is a spiritual science behind it. It's not just a matter of emotion or faith or prayer that has its place, but it is a matter of understanding subtle energies. You know, we've recognized there are subtle nuclear and other forces in the universe, but there are even subtle forces of wisdom, compassion, consciousness, peace. You notice in the Vedas, we pray for Shanti from the universe, the stars, the planets, the earth, because these forces are there. So we're also reattuning through Ayodhya, we're reattuning the earth and our human world to these greater cosmic forces. The temples can bring these things in. Otherwise, we're caught in fighting among ourselves because we're not connected to the expansive creative energies of consciousness that are everywhere, but require concentration and study to know and work with.
Dr. David Frawley, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely an honor having you here with us.
Right, and it was an enlightening discussion. Thank you so much for staying on with us through the course of this day, and thank you for witnessing the Pran Pratishtha with us here at WION. And as you can see, it's the Mangal Dhwani that is gracing Ayodhya today. On your screens are the visuals that are coming in from the Ram temple in Ayodhya. The Pran Pratishtha ceremony is now complete.
Constant chants of Jai Jai Ram, which can be heard constantly as they are being chanted from inside the Sanctum Sanctorum in the Sri Ram temple. The Indian Prime Minister is very much there. His scheduled time for being inside is of course around 3 hours, where he will be in the complex and he will be addressing a public meeting little later, from minutes from now actually, with the UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat. Of course, there are over 7,000 guests who are waiting outside. We earlier saw visuals of the helicopter dropping petals on top of all the attendees as the Pran Pratishtha ceremony was being concluded inside. And the Prime Minister is very much there inside still, offering prayers, offering flowers, offering mantras while chanting, along with all the priests who are there to conclude the ceremony. Absolutely historic event. The Mangal Dhwani is what we're hearing at the moment, which we have been hearing about since several days. And here it is happening right in front of us. In the lead up to the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, which we are witnessing, which we just witnessed minutes ago, the Prime Minister of the country visited several temples all across the country from the south. And all these temples have deep relevance and significance relating to Sri Ram's life and relating to the Ramayana. He has observed a fast since several days. January 12th is when he started, sleeping on the floor, drinking only coconut water. And as Dr. Frawley explained earlier, these are all purification processes which the Prime Minister has taken up and has undergone, all leading up to the Pran Pratishtha ceremony, which he was a part of and which is still continuing at the moment as he's still inside. Prayers continue, offerings being made, while chants are still very much on. The echoes of the Shankh Dhwani, or the conch, and mantras which were chanted and echoing inside, of course echoing in all homes and offices as everyone tunes in to this historic event which we're witnessing as of now, which people have waited decades for. From sweets to floral offerings, all being made towards the deity. The deity is Ram Lalla, Sri Ram Lalla, who is now unveiled. We have Sri Ram Lalla right in front of us. In the camera, there was a zoomed in shot of Sri Ram Lalla's face with a vertical tika on the forehead, which we see in several southern temples in India. A very traditional form of the tika.
सभी संतों आप खड़े हो सकते हैं और
And now for more on this, we have with us my colleague Molly Gambhir, who is joining us live from Ayodhya. Molly, thank you so much for joining us. The Pran Pratishtha ceremony is complete. What can you tell us of the mood on ground? What is happening at the moment?
Well, what I can tell you is that the fervor has only been building up throughout that ceremony, and as devotees have been thronging to this entire stretch, which is of course very close to where the dignitaries have also been arriving ahead of that ceremony, and during the ceremony loud chants of Jai Shri Ram and tunes dedicated to Lord Ram are being sung, and cultural performances that have been underway for the entire duration of that ceremony, just to show their devotion towards the ceremony. And they have been telling us, the devotees have been telling us, that they feel lucky and privileged to be here for the ceremony and be a part of it in their own way. Remember, these devotees have come from different parts of not just the state of Uttar Pradesh, but from different parts of the country. They've been making their way towards Ayodhya ahead of the ceremony. Some have been here for a week now, just to take part in even the arrangements and contribute in any way possible. As far as the ceremony is concerned, throughout that ceremony, we've seen the devotees trying to catch a glimpse also of the manner in which the proceedings will take place after the culmination of the ceremony. As far as the mood is concerned, like you asked, it has been that of jubilation. It's been that of celebrating this moment now that the highly anticipated ceremony has been underway and has culminated. After this, of course, the Indian Prime Minister, in a while from now, will also be offering prayers at the site where an ancient Shiv temple was restored. And the entire day in the run-up to this ceremony, the enthusiasm of the devotees has only been peaking, and we will see the prayer ceremony, which was of course witnessed live by devotees from around the country, being broadcast. The ceremony was broadcast at different stations here, at different screens here at the venue inside the media center as well.
All right, Molly, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on that. I also want to ask you, as you mentioned, there will be a public address at about 1:15 p.m. as well. Are there any other things scheduled through the course of the day now that the Pran Pratishtha ceremony is complete? What we do know, of course, is that tomorrow onwards, this will be open to the Ram Mandir will be open to the public as well. What can you tell us?
Yes, and which is why we've seen the devotees coming in not just to be a part of the ceremony in their own way, but to also offer their prayers at the Ram temple. They say they've made their arrangements days ahead of the ceremony, just so that they can be here for this. And they've been also talking about how they want to contribute in terms of their services in any way that they can. Seva is what they've been calling it, after the opening of the Ram temple. So that's just one of the ways in which they want to show their devotion and celebrate this moment as the Ram temple is officially open to the public. So we will of course see a large number of devotees now onwards making their way towards Ayodhya as well. Remember, today vehicles only with authorization were permitted to enter the city of Ayodhya, and hectic security arrangements have been in place throughout. And now that the members of the public will be making their way towards the Ram temple to be a part of, to in fact offer their prayers, we will see the elaborate arrangements being in place over the next few days as well.
Molly, in the next few minutes at 1:15 p.m. there was a public meeting which is scheduled where, of course, the Prime Minister, the RSS Chief and the UP Chief Minister, they'll be addressing this public meet. Is there any more detail we have on this? What to expect? Who all would be in attendance?
Right, so that public meeting, of course, is a very important part of this entire program. Remember, we haven't really heard from the Indian Prime Minister as far as his message on the occasion is concerned. So now is when, as a part of that address to the public gathering, remember, we're talking about the 7,000 guests, the VVIPs, the dignitaries, the religious leaders, sports personalities, celebrities who made their way here. So that message, that public gathering event is, of course, an address to not just the dignitaries here, but to the entire country. So we will, for the first time now, after the culmination of the ceremony, as a part of that address, be hearing from the Indian Prime Minister himself as far as the occasion and its significance and his message to the country and its people is concerned.
Molly, of course, we've also seen that this Pran Pratishtha ceremony, it saw that about 7,000 dignitaries, celebrities, people had been invited. What can you tell us? What is the mood like on that front?
Well, like I said, 7,000 VVIPs, like we've been discussing, on that list have been film personalities, sports celebrities, personalities from different sectors and religious leaders. But that's just one part of the attendance of this ceremony, because we're talking about devotees making their way from different parts of the country. And some have walked hundreds of kilometers all the way here to the city of Ayodhya. Some have been camping here for days now, because they knew that arrangements and the security arrangements will be such that they will not be able to travel all the way perhaps, and which is why they came here days in advance, have been staying here for a week or so now, also offering their services and contributing to the arrangements in any way that they can. We've seen food being cooked at different junctures. We've seen people actually painting and putting out banners and posters, and just to make their presence felt and their contribution felt as far as the grand occasion is concerned.
Right, Molly, we could see behind you a little while from now, there were a lot of people, there were dance performances that were going on. I'm sure there are cultural performances that are lined for the day as well. As you mentioned, I just want to understand this better. You said that a lot of people have been camping there. So when it comes to the security situation, as well as people who are coming there and the tents that have been set up, the crowd management, in fact, essentially, as Shivan just pointed out, what can you tell us about that?
Well, why don't I show you what's happening here right behind me? If I can ask my video journalist, Gopal Chaudhary, to just give you a sense of what's happening around here at this juncture, which is a stretch which goes all the way to...
Ram Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram